House number 2 has a large pile of lumber, limbs, and some concrete debris in it. So, and you notice the rotted cabinet furniture, and he's got some furniture, a seat, a chair, chairs in the backyard. That's house number 2. And house number 3 has some tires that they could possibly take to the landfill. What a lot of people don't realize is that the landfill will take 4 tires a year for free, 4 whole tires for free per resident of the city of San Angelo. The other thing is, if you separate the sidewalls from the tread, it's regular garbage, so they won't charge you for that. Or if you cut the tire in half, it's just like regular garbage. Then house number 4 has a growth restriction problem. This time of the year, we're getting a lot of this wild mustard, wild type of grasses and weeds that grow real fast. This, I would say, this is about a week's work, well, maybe a week or 2 worth of growth. So they've got a tall grass problem, growth restriction problem, meaning you can't have any tall grass and weeds more than a foot tall. What I'll do is I'll go down, go knock on their door, see if I can get them to explain the problem to them, and then see if they can do it for us. They'll comply with the ordinance. Again, the biggest problem is junk and unsightly and tall grass and weeds. Maybe we'll get somebody at home to talk to. What a lot of people don't know too is that there's free dumping at the landfill once a month, every month, with your most current water bill with you. Most of these things, they can be taken to the landfill. So that's one of the problems. The other problem is that most people have a hard time getting that to the landfill. So in order to do that, we have certain programs like Keep San Angelo Beautiful for the elderly folks, the handicapped folks that really need help. But for the majority of the people, that's the hardest part, is getting their junk to the landfill. Lady was aware that she had a lead problem. She hasn't. She just run out of time. Most of the that's another big problem, is they're working full time, so she just so happened to be at home. In this particular case, we issued a warning citation, a warning notice of violation. Doesn't require they go to court or pay a fine. It just requires that they comply by a certain date. In this case, I won't be back till the 18th, which is next Thursday, to ensure that she did mow. Since this was a courtesy warning, what we'll have to do is, if she doesn't comply, is give her a legal notice of violations, which gives her an additional time period to comply. Most of the time, people are aware of their problems. They're aware that there's a problem with their junk. They're aware that their weeds are too tall. They're aware that that maybe their bushes are overgrown into the street. They just either neglect it or save it for another day. And they're cooperative. For the most part, the citizens of San Angelo are pretty cooperative, and they'll comply. It's very rare that we send somebody to court, but we do make work orders. If they fail to comply, we give them all that time period to comply, and if they fail to comply, they know by the time that we get there what the consequences will be if they fail to comply. So yeah, they're most of the time cooperative, and they even help their neighbors sometimes. They notice that their neighbors are in the same, they have the same problem, and they realize that they're elderly or something like that, and they help them out. When we get them at a certain level of cleanliness, for the lack of better words, aesthetics seem to be a little better. We want to maintain that standard. So the code officer, his job would be, my job would be, to go out there and make sure that the neighborhoods stay at that level of cleanliness. And it's a question of making sure that they understand that there's free dumping, making sure that we've been here before, and that they need to keep this neighborhood, their community, their neighborhood clean. That way it brings more people in. People will want to build, maybe attract businesses and so on. So cleanliness, making sure that the weeds are down, trees are trimmed, and so on, helps the neighborhood and the community overall. So that's what we're supposed to do. Go out there and tell people and remind them that you got to keep your property in order.